Welcome back. Alright, so I'm hoping I'm not going to need to pause during this video, but I'm going to say straight up I'm fighting a cold. I came into the house and is making its way around the house, and as best as I could to avoid it, I have failed. So what I thought this morning was, maybe it's allergies. Well, if it lasts all day, it's probably not allergies. Alright, that being said, starting things off, Montreal and Boston. I wore Boston for the preview, and they won. So Allen versus Swayman in this one, lots of early whistles, slow to get started. We get a power play for the Habs. There's a near miss by Monahan. That's killed off. Shots are 4-2 Montreal at 6 minutes. We then get a power play for Boston, and 12 seconds later it becomes a 5-on-3. Well, you can't give them that much time with a 5-on-3. They do score. It's a one-timer by McAvoy. Marchand and Pastrnak had the assists on that one at 7-11. Look at that. McAvoy's so good. I gave him the goal and the assist. I can just blame it on illness. There you go. The Habs then kill off the 5-on-4. The shots are 10-4 then for Boston with 8.5 minutes left, meaning between the 6-minute mark and when there was 8.5 minutes left, Montreal did not have a shot on net. Bruins press with 7 minutes left. They would score in the final minute. Trent Frederick scores from Carlo and Coyle at 19:20. So after the first period, the score's 2-0 Boston. Second period, the early edges for the Bruins. However, the shots are only one apiece at 2.5 minutes. Lauko has a shot that's held. Newhook with a one-timer, that's saved. The Habs press at 4 minutes. But Zacha ends up scoring from Lindholm and Pastrnak at 5:16 on a rush. The Habs wanted a call on that play that they did not get. Bruins look for another. We get a power play for Boston. That's killed off. Harrison has a backhand that's saved and cleared. And then Slavkovsky, who started picking it up lately, he scores from Newhook at 13:03. Buries that one short side on Swayman, making the score 3-1. The Habs get a power play. That was killed off. And then on a break out of the box, Frederick scores from Coyle and DeBrusk at 15:30. We then get a power play for Boston. Lindholm has a blasted save. That's killed off. But after 2 periods of play, it is 4-2 for the Bruins. Third period, early press by the Habs. More pressure by the Habs. The Bruins are blocking. The shots on net are 4 apiece at 4.5 minutes, which is a bit of a surprise because it felt like Montreal had most of the chances. We then get a power play for Boston, and they score on it. It is Van Riemsdyk from Marchand and Pastrnak at 5:39. Bruins press at 9 minutes. DeBrusk has a net drive. That's defended. Matheson had a rush chance. That was held. Bruins press with 5.5 minutes left, but at 15:29, Kovacevic. I think this is back-to-back games with a goal for him. Dvorak and Slavkovsky with the assists. So Uri with a goal and an assist in this one. But in the end, that's your highlight if you're a Montreal fan. Boston wins 5-2. They go to 13-1-2 with the victory. Montreal 7-9-2 with the loss. The shots on net favored Boston the whole way through. 18-8 in the first, 15-8 in the second, 11-6 in the third. Final shots 44-22 for the Bruins. Power plays, Montreal 0 for 2, Boston 2 for 5. The hits 19-18 Montreal. Jake Allen saved 39 out of 44. Swayman saves 20 out of 22. All right, next up, Pittsburgh and Carolina. All right, so this was a very back-and-forth game. It's Jarry versus Ronta. The shots on net were 3-1 for the Canes, 1.5 minutes in. O'Connor is then denied and close. Hinostroza has a chance that's held. Nason fires one wide on a rush. Canes press at 6.5 minutes. Jarvis has a rush chance. That's blocked to the outside. And a little bit past the halfway mark, Pittsburgh gets on the board first. It's Crosby from Achari and Gensel at 10 minutes and 40 seconds. The Penguins press for more. With 1 minute and 53 seconds left, the Canes get a power play. So that rolls over into the second period where the Penguins finish the kill and retain their 1-goal lead. Then there's a press by the Pens. The Canes are blocking. Stahl has a rush chance. That's saved. Penguins go back to the power play. There's early back-to-back clears. That's killed off. Shots are 3-2 Carolina, 9 minutes in. Pressed by the Penguins at the half. Shea has a rush chance. That's saved. And then Aho would tie the game from Teravainen and Jarvis at 13:06. Achari's then denied. Riley Smith misses the rebound high. We get a power play for Pittsburgh. Early clears by the Canes. They do kill that off. Achari then misses an open net. So he's all around it. He just doesn't have that first goal yet. It's 1-1 after 2. Third period, Jarvis is robbed. There's an early power play for the Canes. There's early clears by the Penguins, but at 2:46, 2 seconds after the power play ends, Brent Burns scores from Slavin and Svechnikov. So that makes it 2-1 in favor of Carolina. Malkin nearly answers. Letang has a screenshot. That's held. The Penguins press. They're kept to the outside. The Canes score. It's a Svechnikov goal, but they challenge it for offsides, which means it comes back. So it stays 2-1, and then it turns to 2-2. During a delayed penalty, Crosby scores from Letang and Rust at 9:16. Svechnikov then nearly answers. The Canes would press, and they would score to get the lead back. It is Jarvis tipping one in, Slavin and Burns with the assist at 11:52. Then there's a near miss for Stahl as the Canes press for more. The Canes get a power play late, and they score on it. Jarvis hits the empty net, so they pulled the goalie to get it back to 5-on-5. Jarvis from Aho and Teravainen at 19:22. Carolina wins this one 4-2. They go to 10-7 on the season. Pittsburgh drops to 8-8. Shots on net, 11 apiece in the first, 11-5 Carolina in the second. Both teams had 12 shots in the third. Final shots, 34-28 in favor of Carolina. Power plays, Pittsburgh 0-2, Carolina 1-3. The hits, 17-7 Carolina. Jari saves 30 out of 33. Ronta, very solid in that net for the Carolina Hurricanes, 26 saves on 28 shots. So he looked shaky at times here and there, but yeah, in the end, 26 saves on 28 shots. But most goalies during the game, you'll have those moments where it's like, is he vulnerable? And it turns out, no, is the case for Ronta. All right, next up, the Islanders and the Flames. So two teams with rough records in this one. And again, you know, the Islanders are in a game against a team that's got kind of a mediocre record like they were against Seattle. Makes for some entertaining hockey, sloppy at times as well. Sorokin versus Markstrom. Barzal has a rush chance, that's defended. The Islanders press at 3 minutes. We get a power play for Calgary, that's killed off. Shots are 3 apiece 8 minutes into the game. The Flames press at the half. Eventually, on a rush, Pospisil opens the scoring. He roofs it from Kadri and Zary at 12:16. There's a net feed to Palmieri, gets picked off. The Flames press with 5.5 minutes left, but the Islanders would tie it. Hudson Fasching from Clutterbuck at 16:51, and then the Islanders look for the lead. The Flames do press in the final minute, but it's 1-1 after the first. Second period, early jump for the Flames. There's a brief Islanders press, just fizzles out. Then we get a power play, though, for the Islanders, and they score on it. It's Palmieri from Horvat and Dobson at 4:07. So that puts the Islanders into their first lead of the game. Palmieri burying a rebound there to make that happen. The Islanders press for another. Flames at this stage are not getting to the net. There's a power play for the Flames. It then becomes 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 53 seconds. And on a face-off win during that 4-on-4, Barzal scores to make it 3-1 at 8:07. And then everything's killed off because it's only a 7-second power play on the other side. The Islanders press, the Flames block. Toffoli fires one wide on a rush. The Flames press with 5.5 minutes left. Eventually, they do score. It's Coleman scoring from DeSimone and Huberdeau at 17:03. So Huberdeau on the board yet again. We then get a power play for the Islanders late in the period, and there's 29 seconds left in that power play to start the third period, where we come into this with the score 3-2 in favor of the Islanders. 29 seconds left in that power play is killed off by Calgary. Then we get a press by the Flames at 2.5 minutes. Eventually, a point shot gets through. It's Weegar from Zary at 3:12. So that ties it, but seconds later, 19 seconds later at 3:31, Nelson answers from Aho and Palmieri. And it stays 4-3 until Calgary ties it again. It's Sharon Govich from Hannafin and Lindholm at 13:42. The Flames then press with 5.5 minutes left. The Flames press as well in the closing seconds. Cannot get the game winner. So we go to overtime. The Flames have a net feed that's picked off. Dobson's denied on a rush chance. Huberdeau's then denied. Pospisil gets robbed as well. And we end up having to go to a shootout. In the shootout, it is Wahlstrom in round 4 that wins it for the Islanders. They win this one 5-4 in the shootout. They go to 6-6-5. So in the next game, they could be 6-6-6, right? There you go, Iron Maiden. And the Flames, with the overtime shootout loss, drop to 6-8-3. Shots on net, 10-8 Calgary in the first, 11-9 Calgary in the second, 14 apiece in the third, and then 4-2 Calgary in the overtime. Final shots, 39-33 for the Flames. Power plays, the Islanders 1-3, Calgary 0-3. The hits, 24-20 for Calgary. Sorokin saves 35 out of 39. Markstrom saved 29 out of 33. So solid game all around. A lot of fun to watch. A little bit sloppy, sure, but that's what happens. We have two struggling teams against each other. All right, the Rangers and the Devils. So the Rangers, they just keep doing this. They haven't lost in regulation in what now, 11 games? So it's Shesterkin making his return against Vanacek, and Shesterkin looked a little bit shaky until he didn't. Early jump for the Devils. The Rangers press at 3 minutes, but the shots are 4-1 in favor of New Jersey 5 minutes into this. Toffoli has a blast that's a kick saved aside. We then get a power play for the Rangers, and they score on it. It is Panarin from Trocheck and Gustafsson at 8:37. It was a good cycle, and it was buried. Devils press to answer. There's a quick whistle, or is it a goal? So Shesterkin seemed to have it. The referee blows the whistle, but the puck continues into the net. Therefore, it's a goal. It's Jack Hughes from Hamilton and Siegenthaler at 9:25. So if the puck had been touched by a Devils stick after the whistle, it wouldn't have counted. But as there was no stick, the contact of the puck continues in. It's a continuation play. That makes it a 1-1 tie. Gustafsson then has a stick die on a shot. And, the Rangers get the lead back. It's Jimmy Vesey from Schneider and Jones at 14:11. Hughes to Bratt, then there's an attempt at the net. That gets picked off by the Rangers. But with 2:15 left, the Devils get a power play, and they score on it. At 19:12, it is Palat from Bratt and Toffoli. So Palat with his first of the season, and after the first period, it's a 2-2 tie. Second period, Bastian has a net feed picked off. The referee the fans call one, the referee does not. The referee doesn't take advice from the crowd. You'd have like 15 power plays on one end and none on the other. The shots are 3 apiece at 7 minutes. Is it a 5-minute major? The review says no penalty on a hit. So it's a big hit. They initially call a 5-minute major. They take the penalty off the board. You guys can let me know if you agree with the call on the play. Holtz exits. New Jersey down to 9 forwards at this point in the game. Luke Hughes has a net feed that's picked off. The Devils press with 7.5 minutes left. Cooley has a rush chance. That's kicked aside. 2:04 left. The Rangers get a power play. That is killed off. Going into the third period, it is still 2-2. In the third, the Devils press early, and they score. It's Howla from Jack Hughes and Hamilton at 1:17. So Jack Hughes gets 2 points in his return. I get the feeling he's going to be climbing that scoring chart pretty darn quickly. It's a backhand and close by Howla, and suddenly it's a lead for New Jersey. The Rangers press at 5.5 minutes. They get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. 3 shots on net for New York. Bratz tonight on a breakaway. The Rangers press at the half. Eventually they score. It's Panarin from Trocheck at 11:04. And then at 17:11, it's a backhander by Vesey that's scored from Pitlick and Trocheck. So the Devils pull the goaltender because now they're down by 1, and then they're down by 2. It is Wheeler into the empty net at 18:27 to make your final score 5-3. The Rangers improve to 12-2-1, which is ridiculous. On the New Jersey side, they are 8-7-1, another frustrating result for them. Shots on net, 10 apiece in the first, 11 apiece in the second, 14-12 Rangers in the third. Final shots, 35-33 for the Rangers. Power plays, the Rangers 1 for 3. New Jersey scored on the only power play they had. Hits, 29-23 New Jersey. Shesterkin saves 30 out of 33. Vanacek saves 30 out of 34. Very close game, and once the Devils start getting healthier, that'll improve, but they have to stop getting hurt in order to get healthier. All right, next up. Last one on this board is Arizona and Winnipeg. So it's Vejmelka versus Brossoit, and I'm just going to say it. It's another Winnipeg game where not a lot of stuff happens. I'm starting to think this is Scott Arniel's plan, but it's a winning plan, right? So good early back and forth. Zucker to Carconi. There's a near miss. The Coyotes had the only shot on net 5 minutes into this, so I'm not making it up. There really wasn't much to talk about for large portions of this game. We get a power play for the Jets. Pionk has a screenshot. That's held. That power play's killed off. Zucker has a shot that's kicked aside, and then Michelli taps one in from the side of the net. Should be getting more goals if he takes more shots. Mosier and Kerfoot with the assist at 14:53. But the Winnipeg Jets come back. Scheifele from Pionk and Dillon at 17:04, and then 58 seconds later, Nemestikov puts Winnipeg in the lead from Morrissey. So at 18:02, it's suddenly 2-1 Winnipeg. And he caught Vejmelka out of the net to get that one. So, sometimes there's some good bounces that go your way too. Coyotes press to tie it with 1:05 left. The Coyotes get a power play, so rolling into the second period. Winnipeg with a lead, but needing to finish the kill, and that's exactly what they do to start the second period. Shots are 2-1 Coyotes, 3.5 minutes in. Appleton's denied, it's cleared out, and then Arizona ties it. It's Dumba from Boyd and Schmaltz at 6:08. So Dumba with his second of the season. Coyotes then get a power play. That's killed off. The Jets press with 9 minutes left, and eventually Connor, who is now the league leader in goals with 14. He scores from Scheifele and Dillon at 11:26. The Coyotes press with 2.5 minutes left. Scheifele's denied on a deflection, And after the second period, the score's 3-2 in favor of the Winnipeg Jets. Third period, shots are 3-1 for the Jets at 3.5 minutes. Eventually, they get another one. It is Morrissey from Scheifele and Connor at 4:15. So good start for the Jets. Coyotes press at 8.5 minutes. The shots are only 4-2 for Winnipeg with 7.5 minutes left. So the Coyotes were getting pressure, but I kept looking at the shot clock and I'm like, they're just not hitting the net. They're getting that zone time. They're getting that cycle. It looks great. They're not getting the shots. Scheifele's then robbed on a breakaway. The goalie pull happens with 3 minutes left, and Winnipeg, as they are known to do, hit the empty net. Appleton from Niederreiter at 17-13, making your final score 5-2 for the Winnipeg Jets. They go to 10-5-2. Jets fans, if you think they're mediocre, they're not. You should go out and watch them. Arizona 8-7-2 with the loss. It's almost as if people were overreacting to that first couple of weeks of the season. At any rate, shots on net 11 apiece in the first, 8-4 Winnipeg in the second, 7-3 Winnipeg in the third. They only allowed 7 shots in the last 40 minutes. Final shots are 26-18 for Winnipeg. Again, it's not exciting, but it's winning. So the power plays, Arizona 0-2, Winnipeg 0-1. The hits 21-19 Winnipeg. Vejmelka saved 21 out of 25. I talked about him in the goalies video I did earlier in the week. Brossoit 16 saves on 18 shots. So Winnipeg gets the win, and now I need to change boards. All right, 4 more games to go, starting with Columbus and Washington. So stop me if you've heard this before. Columbus played well tonight, probably deserved a better result, but here we are. So it's Merzlikins versus Lindgren. We get a power play for the Caps. Mantha's denied from the slot. That's killed off. Caps press at 6 minutes. The shots are 3-1 in their favor, 6.5 minutes in. Corrali then has a rush chance that's held. Malenstein's denied on a net drive. All right, sneezing fit and all that. Power play for Columbus. That's killed off. Fantilli then has a chance. That's held. The Jackets with some momentum, but they need a goal. A storyline we've had through a lot of this season with Columbus. Caps press with 5 minutes left. With 17.8 seconds left, the Capitals get a power play. So to start the second period, Columbus finishes the kill, and then they score. It's Johnny Gaudreau with his second of the season from Jenner and Severson at 3:27. It was during a delayed penalty. Johnny Gaudreau was the extra skater for that delayed penalty. And there you go. It's 1-0 Columbus. Columbus then presses for another, but the shots are only 3-2, 5 minutes in. It is in favor of Columbus. And at 5:05 on their third shot, Washington scores. It's Milano from Protas and Lapierre. Laine then has a net drive chance. That's held. The Caps press at 8 minutes. Fantilli has a shot that's blocked. It deflects out. Laine then fans on a one-timer, and on a 3-on-2 rush, Washington scores again. It is Protas from Van Riemsdyk and Lapierre at 13-16. Things get pushed on hold by Elvis. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Gaudreau has a slot shot. That's blocked. And then Ovechkin gets his 5th of the season from Strome at 15:47. So Alex has started getting some goals here and there, definitely helping him in his chase of 99. And I don't mean 99 goals, I mean Gretzky, of course. Caps press in the final minute, and after 2 periods, it is 3-1 in favor of the Washington Capitals because Columbus has no luck. Third period shots are 2-1 for Columbus at 4.5 minutes, so not a lot of opportunities going on there. Good forechecking by the Capitals. The Jackets score, and the Capitals take a timeout to decide whether or not they're going to challenge, and they do. They challenge for goalie interference, and it comes to fruition that the goal counts, meaning that Columbus also gets the power play. So it's Provorov from Sillinger at 7:01. It's a good goal, so it's a Columbus power play. Laine has a blast that's held. There's some good chances, but it's killed off 3 shots on that power play for Columbus. There's a near miss for Danforth. The Caps clear, and then on a turnover and a rush, Lapierre scores his first of the season from Milano and Protas at 13:34. That makes it 4-2. Columbus does get that back at 15:48, so a little over 2 minutes later. Danforth scores from Corrali and Werenski, and then with 2:34 left, Columbus gets a power play. Gaudreau's denied, Lindgren holds, that power play's killed. 2 shots on that power play, and Washington holds on. They win this one 4-3. They go to 9-4-2 with the victory. Columbus drops to 4-10-4 with the loss. So Columbus just keeps finding ways to lose. Shots on net favored Columbus in every period. 9-7 in the first, 11-10 in the second, 16-9 in the third. Final shots 36-26 Columbus. Power plays, the Blue Jackets 0-3, Washington 0-2. Hits 18-17 Washington. Merzlikins saves 22 out of 26. Lindgren saves 33 out of 36. Next up, so teams I cheer for had a tough time here. Tough night. These things happen. So it's Georgiev versus Ottinger, the Rave jerseys. Normally Dallas plays really well in the Rave jerseys, and they did until they didn't. So good early back and forth. Abs press. Byram has a shot that's held. Ben's denied and close. The shots are 2 apiece, 5.5 minutes in. Robertson has a sharp angle shot that saved. Ben had a slot shot saved and cleared. Marchman has a net feed that's picked off, but then Sagan at 10:33 scores for Dallas to put them ahead from Marchment and Duchesne. The Avs press with 6.5 minutes left, but Dallas gets a power play, and 20 seconds into it, Pavelski scores from Ben and Robertson at 14:21. It's 2-0. The Avs would press with 2 minutes left, but yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good period for Dallas. They come up with that 2-0 lead. Second period, 2 minutes and 12 seconds in, Sagan gets his second of the game from Marchman and Lindell. It's 3-0. We then get a power play for Dallas. It lasts 29 seconds before it becomes a 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. The Avs press at 7 minutes. They're kept to the outside. Johnston then has a rush chance. That draws a power play for Dallas. And it becomes 56 seconds of 5-on-3, and this is where the game turns. First off, the Avalanche kill that. The Avalanche score is a goalie interference. So they challenge for goalie interference. Guess what? It counted. Wood scores from Colton and McCarr at 13:27, so the Avs have a power play. They cycle. It's cleared. It's killed off, and then the Avs go back to the power play, and they score on this one. It is Johansson scoring on the power play from McCarr and Rantanen at 17:09. It is 3-2 after the second period, and you could feel that momentum was still going early in the third. The Avs get another power play. There's an early clear by Faksa. That's killed off, but the Avalanche would press, and on a failed clear, Nichushkin scores at 4:19 to tie the game at 3. And you know what's coming here, don't you? So McKinnon has a rush chance that saved. Sagan had a shot deflect out as the Stars press, trying to get something going, but the shots on net are 4-0 Colorado 7 minutes in. Avs spending a ton of time in the Dallas zone, and eventually they get the lead. It's Rantanen roofing one in close from Taves and Nichushkin at 14:32, and 11 seconds later, it's kind of a trickler, but they all count. Cogliano from Kiviranta and Girard at 14:43. The meltdown is complete. It's 5-3 Colorado. Goalie pull happens with 2:30 left. The Stars get chances, but Georgiev's holding. And then Colton hits the empty net from McCarr at 19:30 from the other end of the ice. So the final score is 6-3. Colorado goes to 11-5. They seem to have turned around their scoring woes. Dallas, some woes for Dallas tonight. They're 11-4-1 with the loss. Shots on net, 7 apiece in the first, 16-15 Colorado in the second, 15-5 Colorado in the third. Final shots, 38-27 for the Avs. Once they got rolling, they just couldn't be stopped. Power plays, both teams won for 4 of the hits, 22-17 Colorado. Georgiev, 24 saves on 27 shots. Ottinger saved 32 out of 37. So a couple of rough goals there for Otter, but again, you can't have your best game every night. Which brings us to Seattle in Vancouver. So let us go ahead and discuss it. Grubauer versus Demko. Bjorkstrand has a rush chance. That's held. The shots were 3-2 Seattle at 4.5 minutes. And you could just feel that the Kraken really wanted this one. Miller's denied by Borgen, or was he? No, the puck just barely crossed the line, but it definitely crossed the line. It's Miller from Myers and DiGiuseppe at 5:36. So the Canucks have a 1-0 lead. Canucks with some momentum with that lead as well. Höglander with a miss wide on a turnover opportunity. Gord then has a chance that's saved. There's a near miss for Mikheyev. Myers then has a shot that's held. We get a power play for Seattle. McCann stick breaks on a shot opportunity, so they clear it out. They kill that off. Kraken press in the final minute, but it's 1-0 Vancouver after 1. Second period. Early press by the Canucks. Canucks have a 3-on-1 that's defended, so Seattle's doing a better job of shutting that down. Belmar tips one wide. It's cleared, but then during a Canucks sloppy line change, Seattle makes them pay. Alexiak from Beniers at 5:42. That's Alexiak's first of the season. Hronik has a screenshot that's held. DiGiuseppe with a rush chance that's blocked. We get a power play for the Kraken. Seattle clears, or the Kraken score. It's reviewed for, I think, for a high stick. Either way, that's what we were looking at on TV. And there was nothing to prove that it shouldn't be a goal, so it counts. It's after the power play ended by 1 second, so it's not technically a power play goal, but I'm sure the Canucks felt like it was. It's Eberle from Bjorkstrand and Schultz at 13:04. Eberle's made a living off of beating Vancouver, or at least scoring goals. That's the 24th goal he scored against Vancouver in his career. Then there's a crossbar for Höglander. Nope. Canucks press to respond, and they do score. Quinn Hughes from Hronik and Pettersson at 15:48. That was top shelf from the point. Crossbar then for Höglander. There's a near miss for Wenberg. The Canucks clear, but after 2 periods of play, it's 2-2. And you could still feel that, like, Seattle was the better team for a lot of this. Third period, early press by the Canucks. Borgen then has a shot that's caught and held. And then during a good press by Seattle, they get the lead. At 4:19, it's Gord from Borgen and Tolvanen. So nice goal there. Power play for Seattle. It becomes 139 of 4-on-4. And during the 4-on-4, Seattle scores. It's Beniers from Eberle at 6:49. It was a turnover by Myers, and it's buried in front of the net. So that makes it 4-2. Everything gets killed off after that. The Canucks then get a power play after that. It's killed off, one shot, and then the Kraken rush the other way. There's a near miss for Beniers. The Canucks are busy turning the puck over a little bit too much. Goalie pull happens with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Lots of near misses for Vancouver until Höglander scores from Myers at 19:50. And then Höglander with a near miss on like an onside kick play. That's what they call it on TV. That's what it looked like. But at any rate, the Canucks call a timeout with 5.9 seconds left after that Höglander chance deflects out. Doesn't matter. They lose this one 4-3. Seattle goes to 7-8-4. Vancouver drops to 12-5-1. Shots on net 9-8 Seattle in the first, 8 apiece in the second, 9-8 Seattle in the third. So the final shots are 26-24 for Seattle. Power play Seattle 0 for 3, Vancouver 0 for 2. Hits 33-28 Vancouver. Grubauer saves 21 out of 24. Demko saved 22 out of 26. So again, you know, Vancouver drops to 12-5-1. It's all right. It's not the end of the world. But again, you don't expect Vancouver to run from post to post as like the absolute, you know, best record or anything like that. And again, it's how they're going to respond to this going forward. This is what I want to see when things get a little bit adverse. How do they respond? All right. That being said, last game of the night, almost no mercy. Very, very close. So it's LA at home against St. Louis. St. Louis having a bit of a problem. Teams that lose against San Jose, and there's not very many, but in the cases of the Oilers as well as the Flyers, they've bounced back pretty well. St. Louis did not. So it's Binnington versus Talbot. Early press by the Blues, but 36 seconds in, the Kings get a power play. It was an O-zone penalty by St. Louis. Kopitar's denied. They cycle, and then Byfield buries his own rebound from Kopitar and Kempe at 2:25. And then seconds later, Lizotte steals one, and at 2:44 he buries it to make it 2-0 in favor of the LA Kings. Kings look for another. Byfield nearly adds one as well. Leddy has a blast that's held. There's a power play for the Blues. That leads to a breakaway and a shorthanded goal for Kempe at 13:37, I should say, when there was 15 seconds left in that power play. So they finish killing it, and at 15:29, Dubois with a one-timer makes it 4-0 from Kaliev and Spence. Then with 2:50 left, the Blues get a power play. That's killed off. Fiala fires one wide on a break out of the box. You got to watch that guy coming out of the box. But after the first period, it's 4-0. So the game's already done because I know Talbot's not allowing 5 tonight. Second period, Kyrie's denied early. The Blues press at 3 minutes. Shots are 3 apiece, 5 minutes in. Power play for the Kings. That's killed off. Dubois has a shot that's blocked. The Blues get a power play. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1 that misfires. Power play's killed off. 1 shot. Teams exchange rushes after that. Thomas is denied, and then there's a near miss for Buchnevich. Blues press with 4 minutes left, and Talbot, absolutely great. I had to put a note up there. He's been excellent. And then Fiala scores from Dano and Doughty at 19:36. So that's a real kick for the Blues. Makes it 5-0 after 2. Third period, Laferriere. Sorry, I knew I was going to make that mistake at some point in time. Laferriere, not Lafreniere. Laferriere has a rush chance. That's saved. Vrana has a net drive. That's blocked. There's a near miss for Grunstrom on a 4-on-2. We get a post for Krug. Thomas has a one-timer. That's held. The Blues press with 9.5 minutes left because there's only one question left in this, right? Shots are 8-4 for St. Louis with 8 minutes left. Moore fires one wide on a rush, and then on a breakaway, Jake Neighbors with his 3rd goal of the season. Blaine and Leddy with the assists at 16:06, and that makes your final score 5-1. They avoid the dreaded no mercy game because it's only 4-goal difference, not 5. But with this win, now LA 10-3-3. So see, I did a video on how they can't win at home, and they've won back-to-back games at home since then. You're welcome, LA. For St. Louis, 8-7-1 with the loss. Shots on net, 13-10 LA in the first, 10 apiece in the second, and then 10-7 St. Louis in the third. Both teams had 30 shots. Power plays, 0 for 3 for St. Louis, 1 for 2 for LA, and they have the shorthanded goal as well. Hits 21-14 for St. Louis. Binnington, 25 saves on 30 shots. At the other end, Talbot with 29 saves on 30 shots. So there you go. Hopefully I don't need to pause as much during the the power rankings that I have to do tonight, but I have to do the power rankings, and I also have to do the preview because there's a game starting in 5.5 or 6.5 hours from now. I will not be up to watch it, but I will record it. So I have my PVR set to record it, and I'll do some notes on that, and there'll be a review video for that tomorrow morning. But by the time I get up, the game's done, so I'll probably modify my notes on that. But anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and if you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please do. And if you don't, oh, okay, but you can. I mean, it'd be appreciated. Thank you guys so much once again. I'll talk to you guys soon enough.